My wife slept with my best friend, so I exposed them at dinner. I used to think I was one of the lucky ones. You know, the kind of guy who marries his best friend and wakes up every morning thinking, damn, I hit the jackpot. Her name was Emily. Beautiful, sweet, loyal, or at least I thought. We'd been together since college. I proposed to her under the fireworks on New Year's Eve with all our friends watching. She cried. I cried. Everyone clapped. Yeah, it felt like a damn movie. Fast forward 6 years, and I was working long hours at a tech startup, doing everything I could to build a future for us. She stayed home mostly, working part-time at a boutique and taking care of the house. She always said she loved being a wife, that she didn't need anything else. And I believed her. Every word. Until that one morning. That one damn morning that shattered everything. It was a Tuesday. I remember because I was already late for a meeting. I couldn't find my work badge, so I asked Emily if she'd seen it. She was in the shower, so I went to check our dresser, thinking maybe I left it in one of my hoodie pockets. That's when I saw it. Her phone, unlocked, just sitting there, screen up, like it was begging me to look. Now let me say this, I'm not the type to snoop. I never had a reason to. But there was this one notification that caught my eye. Text from someone saved as Jenna Yoga. But it wasn't yoga related. Can't believe you pulled that off again last night. Same time Thursday. I froze. Same time? Pulled what off? At first, I told myself it was probably just a friend joking. Maybe something innocent. But then another message popped in, right in front of my face. Tell him you're going to your mom's again. Worked like a charm. My stomach dropped. My hands were shaking. I clicked the message thread. It was like someone had hit me in the chest with a sledgehammer. There were weeks, no months, of messages. Emily had been lying to me, sneaking out, telling me she was visiting her mom or going to yoga class. But the text told another story. Late-night meetups, hotel names. A guy's name mentioned once, Z. And worst of all, the messages weren't just about sex. There were laughs, inside jokes, complaints about me. Like I was some boring, clueless husband. I just sat there, phone in hand, heart racing, throat dry. All I could hear was the water running in the shower. She was just a few feet away, singing like nothing was wrong, while my whole world was collapsing in silence. I knew I couldn't confront her then. I needed more. I needed proof. I needed answers. So I started playing dumb, pretending everything was normal. Smiling, kissing her on the forehead, telling her I loved her. But inside, I was planning, watching, waiting. And what I discovered next, it went way deeper than just cheating. She wasn't just having an affair. She was living a second life. And the person helping her cover it up was someone I trusted more than anyone else in the world. After I found those texts, I couldn't sleep. I'd lie next to her in bed, listening to her breathe, wondering how long she'd been lying to me, wondering how much of our life was even real. I glanced at her phone every chance I got. Quietly, carefully. She never suspected a thing. The guy in the messages was only referred to as Z, just a letter. No last name, no photos, just vague references and times to meet up. I figured it had to be a nickname. Something discreet. Emily was careful. Too careful. She never once used a full name. Never once said anything obvious. But then, I got lucky. One night, she left her laptop open in the kitchen. I wasn't trying to be slick or anything. I just walked past and saw a chat window still open. Not text this time. Instagram DMs. And there he was. Z equals Zach. Not just any Zach. Zach Coleman. My best friend since middle school. My best man at the wedding. The guy who used to crash on our couch when his girlfriend kicked him out. I couldn't believe it. At first, I told myself it had to be some other Zach. There had to be more than one in her DMs, right? But when I opened the chat history, it hit me like a punch to the gut. Photos, inside jokes, plans they made behind my back. One message stood out. I still can't believe you wore that necklace I gave you while lying next to him. She was wearing it that night. At dinner. Sitting across from me, smiling, holding my hand, wearing his gift like it meant nothing. I felt sick. I wanted to smash the laptop. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. Because deep down, I needed more. Not just evidence. I wanted to see how far this went. I wanted to see how long they thought they could play me. So I started documenting everything. Screenshots, backed up messages. I even installed a hidden app on her phone that mirrored her text to mine. I know it sounds crazy, like something out of a spy movie. But when your world is falling apart, you do whatever it takes to survive. The worst part? It wasn't just about sex. They talked about a future together. What they'd do when I was out of the picture. How easy it would be to take everything from me once the timing was right. They even joked about who would keep the dog. Like I didn't matter. Like I was just some temporary obstacle. Then one night, something happened that changed everything. Zach came over. Emily said it was for football and beers, just like old times. I almost laughed. I poured him a drink, and we watched the game like nothing was wrong. But I knew. And he had no idea I was sitting there, smiling like a fool, knowing everything. And that's when I decided. If they wanted to play games, they had no idea who they were dealing with. Because I wasn't going to confront them. I was going to destroy them. But first, I needed someone on the inside. Someone who could help me blow this thing wide open. And I knew just who to call. In the weeks following Zach's visit, every moment felt like a countdown ticking towards a breaking point. I was living two lives, one where I smiled and pretended nothing was wrong, and another filled with simmering rage and calculated resolve. Every laugh Emily shared, every casual comment, reminded me of the deceit I was drowning in. That night, after a long day at work, I sat on the porch watching the city lights blink like distant stars. I kept replaying every moment, every word, every seemingly insignificant detail that now held so much weight. It was then that it hit me. I needed someone on the inside, someone who could help me expose the entire truth. And not just expose it, I needed a way to turn Emily's well-orchestrated game against her. I remembered Jake. Old college pal, quiet type, but with a knack for technology and information. We'd reconnected briefly a few years back, and he always had a reputation for knowing more than he let on. More importantly, he was someone who had his own experiences dealing with betrayal. I recalled how he once mentioned being on the receiving end of a similarly half-truth story, how someone he trusted shattered his world. That evening, I picked up my phone, fingers trembling as I typed his number. "Hey, Jake, got time to talk? I need some advice." His reply was immediate. "Call me," it read. I couldn't even remember his number, but within minutes, I was on a call with him, explaining everything as if unloading a lifetime of secrets in a single breath. "You sure about this?" he asked in a low, steady voice as I recounted the text messages, the Instagram exchanges, and the heart-wrenching discovery that my best friend was the man behind Zach. I hesitated when I said, "And I've already documented a lot." His words were firm, non-judgmental. "Dude, you need to have indisputable evidence. This isn't about revenge. It's about reclaiming your dignity." Jake had agreed to help me set up a digital trap. Over the next few days, he worked on a covert software patch for my own devices, designed to silently capture any digital footprints my wife might leave on her phone, her computer, and even her social media accounts. We planned meticulously. Every message, every tagged location, every suspicious call would be logged. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. It was a carefully engineered plan. What made it all more infuriating was how Emily acted like nothing was off. During the day, she continued to flash that bright smile as she greeted me, and at night, she would kiss me goodnight like we were a couple in a picture-perfect romance. Meanwhile, every cracked smile and every half-truth was being logged away by the little trap Jake set up. It was like I was watching a nightmare unfold in slow motion, each moment piling up more evidence. But it wasn't just about collecting data. I needed to know the full extent of her duplicity, not only the digital traces, but the emotional layers hidden behind every secret meeting, every whispered word on the phone. I started noticing small details around the house, a perfume scent that wasn't mine lingering on her scarf, receipts from expensive restaurants on nights she'd said she was at a local book club, cryptic notes tucked into her purse. The puzzle was coming together in a way that was both heartbreaking and infuriating. As I delved deeper, something I hadn't anticipated surfaced. There was a network behind her escape. Emily wasn't acting alone. She had forged a relationship with someone outside our little circle, a professional who made her secrets easy to hide. The messages hinted at someone who profited from her escapades, someone who specialized in covering tracks with a few deft moves, a fixer. The more I reviewed the collected text, the more I realized this wasn't just a clandestine romance. It was an operation. The idea of a fixer involved in orchestrating a deceit so intricate sent a chill down my spine. It meant there were bigger players at work, and Emily was just one element in their game. I dreaded the thought that my life might have been manipulated not only by her deception, but by an entire network that thrived on secrets and betrayal. That night, I sat with my head in my hands, feeling the weight of it all. I had a digital dossier that was growing every day, and I knew I was inching closer to a truth that might not be easy to handle once it came out. But I had already come too far to back down. I was no longer the clueless husband. I was someone reclaiming his story, determined to reveal every lie, every betrayal. And then came the call, a message from an unknown number. The text was simple. I know your secret. Meet me at the old pier tomorrow at midnight. My heart raced. Was it the fixer? Was it someone from Emily's world? Or had Jake's digital trap inadvertently triggered someone else? It was a challenge. A threat? I couldn't tell. But deep down, I knew that what happened next would set the stage for everything that followed. Tomorrow night, everything might change. The moment I read that message, I know your secret. Meet me at the old pier tomorrow at midnight. I felt like I was being watched. The old pier was a rundown stretch of dock by the edge of the lake. No lights, no cameras, just the creaking of wood, the slap of water, and the kind of silence that keeps you up at night. I didn't tell Jake. I didn't tell anyone. I needed to handle this alone. The next night, I got there early, parked a block away, wore dark clothes, kept my phone on record in my jacket pocket. Every step toward that pier echoed in my head. I didn't know what I was walking into, a setup, a warning, or something way darker. Midnight hit. I stood by the end of the dock, the water stretching out like black glass. I waited. Then I heard footsteps. Slow, steady, not trying to hide. A woman appeared out of the dark. Mid-30s, leather jacket, blonde hair pulled back tight. She looked at me like she already knew everything. "You're Emily's husband," she said. My mouth went dry. "And you are." She pulled out a cigarette, lit it, and leaned against the railing like this was just another Tuesday. "Name's Monica. I used to work with your wife." That word, work, hung heavy in the air. I asked, "What does that mean?" She took a long drag, then looked me dead in the eyes. "Emily's not who you think she is. And Zach, he's not just your friend. He's her partner." I felt the ground tilt under me. Partner in what? Monica leaned in. Affairs. Blackmail. Setup jobs. Emily's part of a group that targets men like you. Guys with money, stable jobs, good reputations. They create chaos, collect dirt, get the man to slip up or break down, then cash in during the divorce. My blood went cold. "You're lying." She pulled out a phone, scrolled, handed it to me. Photos, emails, transactions. Emily laughing at a dinner table with another man I'd never seen before. Who is he? Monica raised an eyebrow. Just another target. He didn't take the bait. You did. I stared at the images, the timelines, the detailed notes. This wasn't some sketchy side fling. It was a playbook. A business model. "She's been doing this for years," Monica said. "You were her longest job." My hands clenched into fists. My heart pounded in my ears. "Why are you telling me this now?" Monica stepped closer. "Because I got out. And because you're not the only one who deserves revenge." That's when she gave me the drive. A little USB, plain and silver. Everything's on here. The plans, the payments, the fake therapist, the burner phones, the conversations with Zach. I asked, "Why would I trust you?" She smirked. "You don't have to. But if you really want to destroy them, you're going to need help from someone who's already played the game." And just like that, she walked away, disappearing into the shadows like a ghost. I stood there, gripping the drive like it was a weapon. Everything I thought I knew, every tear she cried, every "I love you," was part of a script. But I wasn't going to be their puppet anymore. I went home that night, stared at Emily as she slept peacefully in our bed. She had no idea what was coming. No clue the curtain was about to fall. Because now I had the truth. Now I had a weapon. And in 2 days, on our anniversary, she was going to get a celebration she'd never forget. April 10th. Our anniversary. Emily woke up to a room full of roses. A handwritten note on the nightstand. Breakfast on a tray. She smiled like a woman who'd won. Like she'd fool me one more day. But this time, I smiled back. Because by the end of the day, her entire double life would come crashing down. I spent the last 48 hours working with Monica and Jake. We cross-referenced everything. Dates, bank transfers, hidden messages, fake identities, even the burner numbers she used to talk to Zach. Monica's USB was a treasure trove of destruction. There was enough in that drive to burn down her whole operation and make sure she and Zach never saw another dime off someone else's heartbreak. But the best part? They had no idea what was coming. That morning, I sent out calendar invites to a private anniversary dinner I planned for Emily. One at our favorite rooftop restaurant downtown. What she didn't know was that I'd reserved the entire place and sent a separate invitation to Zach, and to her mom, and to my lawyer, and to hers, and to a private investigator I'd hired to quietly track her for the past month. I had cameras set up around the table, hidden mics, everything recorded. The plan was simple. Let her walk into the trap, thinking she was walking into romance. She showed up dressed in white. Ironic, right? Looked like an angel. She even kissed me on the cheek when she arrived, whispering, 6 years, baby. Can you believe it? Oh, I could believe it. I believed everything now. We sat down, waited. Then Zach walked in. She froze. I kept my eyes on her, dead calm. Didn't expect him to come so soon, huh? Zach looked at her, confused. You said he'd be out of town. Emily's face drained of all color. Oh, he's not out of town, I said. He's right here, along with everyone else. Then her mom stepped in, followed by the lawyers. Then the PI, who dropped a thick folder right on the table in front of her. She tried to play dumb. What is this? What's going on? I tapped the USB. This is what's going on. Every lie, every message, every hotel visit, every fake therapy session, every dollar you siphon from my accounts to fund your little operation. All of it. Right here. She reached out, shaking. Let's go talk outside. I pulled my hand away. No more talking, Emily. No more lies. You picked the wrong guy to play. The lawyers laid it out for her. I was filing for divorce. I had enough evidence to ensure she'd get nothing. The prenup was airtight, and the PI's report showed she had not only cheated, but orchestrated a coordinated scam with Zach to destroy my financial and emotional stability, grounds for serious legal action. Zach tried to defend her. This is insane. You can't prove anything. I smiled. Jake, you still on? Jake's voice came through the speaker from a hidden mic, loud and clear. He played a recording, Emily and Zach laughing about how easy it was to fool the nice ones, how she only had to pretend a little longer, how Zach would take over once the divorce settled. She was done. She broke down right there. Screamed, cried, begged. But I just stood up, buttoned my jacket, and said the last thing I ever needed to tell her. You should have picked someone dumber. And then I walked away. Free, clean, and for the first time in 6 years, in control. Now, Zach's facing fraud charges. Emily's name is being investigated in 2 other states by people Monica connected me with. Monica testified anonymously. And me? I'm rebuilding. Slowly. Carefully. The worst thing someone can do is take your trust and shatter it. But the best revenge is showing them you never needed them in the first place. I didn't just survive. I exposed everything. And I'm never looking back.